Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Today we've got a pretty cool one here. We've got the Gunpla of the Shining Gundam. This was actually originally released in 1994, so it's always kind of fun to get some older Gundams, and we'll even compare them to some newer ones. And I want to thank Goose, good old Goose, over on Discord for sending this to me. But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe. And if you think this is a cool video, give it a like. And also check the links in the description for ways you can support the channel. But also there's a Discord. Yeah, Goose is on there too. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, let's get started. All right, and here we go. Here is the Shining Gundam kit made in '94. This is actually the first of the Mobile Fighter G Gundam, yeah, kits that were made. And you know, it's not bad. It's more like an entry grade kit that we'd see nowadays. There's not too much to it, but it also isn't like a hand grenade. It doesn't just fall apart. And it actually does have a few gimmicks, nothing too crazy. Kind of getting a closer look here. You can kind of see where the stickers were added on. Easily could have just been painted instead, but they do have a nice little shininess to them. You can kind of see how the detail looks. There's so many areas where you could actually panel line. I'm just actually considering actually doing an entire change, like painting this, because that would be easy. Painting the V-fin. I mean, there was so much you would actually have to also paint on the helmet to make it accurate. So this is probably a project for later to actually do it justice. Another interesting piece is this texture you can see on this forearm. Now this has a gimmick here where it does move up like that. But I just found that texture to be neat. It actually adds more of a higher quality to it. It would be interesting to see more kits released that have interesting textures to the plastic pieces. Maybe not everyone would like that because you're going to sand and paint and etc. But yeah. And then yeah, some stickers here that really, they don't look great, but they add that that shine, the metallic look that you would probably need a metallic paint for if you wanted to recreate it. You know, looking at some other things, so with the head, you know, the head moves just as you'd expect, and the arms, let's see, yeah, that does have that bicep at the elbow. You can kind of see how simple some of these joints are compared to later ones. Yeah, even the legs, I think you can only slightly move these. Okay, that, I did it carefully, otherwise they will pop off, or that will pop off, but we can actually look at the joint right now. You can see like those polycaps, I believe they're called, and that's all that is. So it's kind of limited, but not too much. It's just enough. Like, I think this is, you know, acceptable for what this is. Now, at the price point, again, this was given to me by Goose. The sticker on the box, and I can actually show it right here, it does say $9.99, but was it actually $9.99? If so, totally worth it. In fact, maybe I'd even pay $20 because this is kind of an interesting, cool little kit here. So yeah, kind of getting an idea of the articulation. Yeah, something fell off the skirt. So that can kind of happen, but it's really not that often. Yeah, what else? Yeah, you got the articulation we looked at. Okay, this is coming off too. So for gimmicks, it does have the little launcher thing, and it kind of moves around, so you could, you know, do whatever you needed to it, and then open it back up, if I can even get it to then fit right into the back here. So it's neat that it has that. Now, another interesting little gimmick or feature of this Shining Gundam was actually what the head would do. And so that's where the other piece comes in, where it has extra stickers for the V-fins. It also has a red sticker for the mouth part. And you can see where it's open. So you can just swap the faces if you wanted to and, you know, get another look out of it. So, you know, and I guess you might as well look at accessories too, because it just came with this, you know, beam saber, beam sword, whatever he'd call it. Obviously, that's something you would want to paint if you wanted it to be accurate. And he has them sheathed here. So, you know, it has enough little gimmicks that kind of give it a little bit of play value for someone, I guess, that's younger. But, you know, I think for an adult collector, this is just more of a cool, nostalgic piece. I don't have any nostalgia for this show because I just watched it for the first time this year. But I will say I have an appreciation for the look of the Shining Gundam. whenever I see it, I'm drawn to it a little more than the God Gundam. And so let's actually get into comparisons because I want to show off the real grade God Gundam. So, I guess the God Gundam is taller. Obviously has a lot more detail articulation. I would have preferred a real grade Shining Gundam, but I think that the God Gundam is cool and it looks really good. This is a really high quality real grade, really fun to build. But yeah, 1994, 2022, you can kind of see the difference they've gone there when it comes to the model kits. Now, let's look at another one. This is from 90 or 91. This is from the F91 anime, one of the Crossbone Vanguard. So this is the 1/100th scale, but they actually reduced the scale when they created the Shining Gundam. The plastic on this, I believe that's called ABS, or maybe it's another type. It's the kind that's like, it's like super hard, very easy to get the nub marks, on it from when you're trying to, cut it off the sprue. So that's, one thing to keep in mind. With this, it wasn't too apparent, and it's very interesting how it has that, textured look here as well. So it's like these are just 4 years apart, but this wasn't that fun to build. This actually had some fun to it. This, and I have the other version too, the other one falls apart all the time. This haven't really had any pieces fall apart except you saw the skirt a couple times here, but that's due to moving it around a lot. But generally it doesn't fall apart. It's not a hand grenade. Now I want to compare it to another one. This is about 2000. This is a high grade. So, 5-6 years later, it's supposed to be the same scale. I will say that while this still has some of the old school factor that you'd see from this one, this does have a nicer plastic, a nicer feel to it. This does feel more modern. I think it's just still limited, especially with the color separation, even with the joints, the way they're built. But, even this was a fun build. Just there's a lot more little things you would have to do to fully customize it. Now let's look at a recent high grade, one that I think is incredible, and that is the Moon Gundam. Because it almost has the look of a real grade. There's so much detail, so much, elaborate engineering when it comes to building the joints or building pieces of it. The color separation's on point. You don't need any stickers for this. So we can see how far they've come, even with just the standard line of Gunpla. But I don't want to take away from how cool this little guy actually is. I mean, it's just actually funny how small he is standing next to everyone else. I'm not super familiar with G Gundam outside of recently watching it. And in fact, check out, if you're a supporter, if you're a member of the channel, there is the exclusive G-Watch podcast where me and some of the mods, we talked about G Gundam. Actually, episode 1 is the first half and episode 2 is the second half of the season. And so check that out if you're really interested in kind of getting our takes on the series as a whole. But I'm just not too familiar with what in the universe the scaling is supposed to be. But very neat, kind of small little guy here, gotta say. And look at the manual real quick. I really like the way this looks. I love how, just looking at the proportions, it looks like they are using the kit here, just using some, at the time, was it Photoshop on there? Some digital effects. Kind of have like the colors on there, panel lining, and a little bit of the King of Heart dome on there. So, and then on this side, some really cool artwork. So this is some of the kind of in-scale, accurate-looking animation. It looks like they're even talking about the coloring, what to color there. Not sure. Yeah, it looks like that's cool that they have kind of like the stats of the mobile suit. So that's actually pretty neat. Okay, and opening on the inside, we can see where they're kind of detailing, what you can do. It did come with that King of Hearts sticker. I just didn't really want to put it on there. But this actually gives you some cool ideas for how you can color it correctly. Because, I mean, you can even look at the backpack here in this shot versus this. Completely different. There's a lot you'd have to add on here. But it's not like that would be too hard to do. I think, again, the nature of this is like an entry grade Gundam. But it's not detailed enough to where you would have to do some extra details, but it would be like entry-level paints. It wouldn't require spray painting. It could be brush painting, doing some basic things. So I think this is a good Gundam for people to get for if they just want to do some basic painting, which is pretty fun and relaxing, or just want to start learning. And it's cool that they have this guide here that you can go by. Because really, yeah, I would take off the sticker and I would, that we saw on the side there, and I would just put on my own paint. And then here we get to the instructions. Very simple. Like, I actually started this on a live stream, and I only got 2 arms done, and the live stream was like 2 hours. You can check, yeah, for previous videos for when I did the live stream. So I finished this on my own in 20 minutes. It's a quick build. Again, quick build. And just the fact that it has the details for how to paint it here, this is like a fun project. I could see someone wanting to get as many of the G Gundams that they actually released and kind of, yeah, painting it and kind of messing around with it. Yeah, that seems like that would be a fun little project to do that I might have to get to. All right, and that's about it. Yeah, thanks, Goose, again for this Shining Gundam. Very cool. I think anyone have a chance to grab one of these older kits, I think these are worth it. Totally something that you can paint easily like a miniature. The box art is really cool, too. You can kind of look at some of the stuff it's got, if that would even... Yeah, there we go. Oh, a lot of detail there about Domon, the height and everything. Some other stuff there. But this just looks really cool to have just set up somewhere. Even again, the Gunpla painted up like a little miniature put somewhere. A lot of fun with this. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please, if you think this is pretty cool and you haven't subscribed yet, do so. Check the links in the description. The Discord's awesome. Get on there. Bug Goose. No, I'm just joking. Don't bug him. Actually, no. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk later.